Well, hello there, geometry students. Guess who? You guessed right, it's Miss Becky here. Okay, we are going to be going over IXL Geometry P5. That's some pretty snazzy music there. Okay, so the IXL for this section is more with similar triangles and some indirect measurements. Okay, now on your paper, the first thing you're going to see is this this figure right here, this problem. And sometimes what you're going to see is like one larger triangle. Let's see here. I will make it. Let's see. Okay, I'm branching out here. Okay, so here's the larger triangle. That's pretty bad. Oh gosh. Is it lagging again? Wow. I hate to guess we're lagging again. Hang on. Okay, fixed that. I wonder if it's this corner of my board. It doesn't seem to like it, but okay. So pretty much what they've done is they've laid this little triangle inside of this larger triangle. This one had a right angle here. This one has a right angle here. They both have this opening, that angle right there. And so the larger triangle, it has a height right there, and it's h. The smaller triangle, its height is 3. The larger triangle is from here to here. They're showing here that's broken up into 4 plus 4, which is 8. So this larger triangle is 8 meters long, and it's h meters high. Sometimes it depends. Sometimes you have to, if your brain works that way, I just draw the two triangles out separately. So here's our larger triangle. It's got a length of 8 this way, and the height is h. And then this smaller triangle, it has a height here of 3, and this length is 4. Okay, so to be able to figure out what the height is, you can set up a ratio. So I'm going to set up a ratio going from the large triangle, this leg to this leg. So I'm going to say h, the height here to this length here, 8, is in proportion to this height here, which is 3 to 4. Okay, so it's really important if I'm going the height to the base here, height to base for this ratio, you have to go the same way, the height to the base. You can't just say from, let's see, you couldn't set this one up to go 4 to 3. It has to be in the same order. If it's not, you're going to get a wrong answer. Okay. Next thing what we do, as long as you can set up these two proportions, you can cross multiply. So we have, I'll write it over here, 4h equals 24. Then, divide by 4, which I don't want to always show all this, divide by 4, h equals 6. So this height is 6. Okay? Right, moving right along to this next problem. Okay, we're looking for m, this length here. Now it gets a little tricky because these triangles are sort of turned around. So what we need to do is look for some clues here, just like we did here. So we could match up this height to this height, this base to this base. That was pretty easy. What we want to do is we're looking for m, and this leg m is between the right angle there and the angle that has the 2 tick marks. So on this triangle, here we have the right angle and the 2 tick marks. So that tells me that this side of this triangle matches up with this side here. Okay. Now we need these are the other two sides that have measurements. Because if you're going to set up a ratio like this, if you're going to proportion like this one, where you have one ratio that's equal to another, you need another ratio here that has two measurements. So this one looks pretty suspicious that these two measurements go together, but you always want to double check. So this side here is between the right angle and the one with the 1 tick mark. And this one also has the right angle and the 1 tick mark. So that lets me just ensure that this measure goes with this measure. Now for IXL, they're not really too awfully tricky with these problems, I don't think. And I mean, I could have guessed that those two were the right legs to line up. So what I'm going to do is go from, I'm going to say this leg, well, I could go M, let's just do purple to purple. This leg matches up with this leg, so I could say M to 4 equals this leg here, 6 to 3. There's different ways to do it. I decided to go purple goes with purple, and then orange goes with orange. Okay, cross multiply, that gives us 3M equals 24. Then when you divide, M equals 8. Okay. So, right, make sure you have that written down because I'm going to show you a different way real quick. Right, I could have, get my pen back, could have gone, I could have set it up from purple to orange, all on this one triangle, this larger triangle. So if I did purple, M, lagging again. All right, fix the lag. All right, so if I want to do purple of the large triangle to orange of the small, I could set it up like this. M over 6, and I have to do the same thing here. Whatever you choose to do, you just have to do the same thing with this ratio. So I'm going to go purple, which is 4 over 3. Again, you cross multiply, and that gives us 3M equals 24. When you divide, M is 8. So you get the same thing. So there are different ways of setting these up. That's the reason I showed you that. Okay? Okay. On this one, I looked to see the side that has the variable here. It's side GE, and it's GE, these two that I marked in blue, and those go along with side DC, which is this one here. And then I found that these two, I did confirm that those were the same. GF right here corresponds with DF, which is this one here I did in pink. Now, we could have looked at it and saw that this triangle here is doubled this amount, or this triangle here is half this amount. And we could have seen that, we could have probably figured out that that one was going to be 5 without setting up a ratio like this. But hopefully that makes sense. And again, you can set these ratios up in different ways. I set this one up. I said, what did I say? On the small triangle, I set up this leg, this blue leg to this pink leg is R to 5. So then I have to do the same thing here, blue to pink. And then as long as you're doing the same thing with both ratios, you'll get the right answer. Okay. Now on this one here, they didn't give us what this length was of this big triangle here. So you have to add together the 8 and the 16 to get that this is 24 meters long. Then what I did is I set up ratio going from this long height to the base of the long triangle, the big triangle, to the height of the small triangle, to the base of the small triangle. That's just what I chose to do. And then cross multiply, and this is what you get when you work that out. But hopefully you guys have all that, but I'm going to show you. And if I wanted to set it up differently, I could have. Okay, on this ratio, I set up this long height of the big triangle to the height of the small triangle. And then I set up the base of the big triangle to the base of the small triangle. And you can see that you end up getting the same answer. So you can set them up differently as long as you're consistent. Again, that's where your errors are going to come in. Be consistent with your ratios. Okay, why don't you pause the video again and give this one a try. We'll see if we get the same thing. Okay, so hopefully you guys noticed that all of these angles are the same. So that means that all these sides are also the same. Same deal with this one. All of the angles are the same, so all of the sides are going to be the same also. It's just that this triangle is twice as big as this one. So G would have had to have been 8. Bam. Alrighty, one of the last type of a problem. So there's, they're going to have a couple that are word problems in there. And okay, so let's just read over this. A cell phone tower shadow is 16 meters long. And not far away, a clock's tower shadow is 32 meters long. If the cell phone tower is 30 meters tall, how tall is the clock tower? So we have two different things going on here. We have shadows of this one. And where's the shadow? Here's another shadow. And then what we also have going on is the height of it. The cell phone tower is 30 meters tall, and it's this one. We don't know how tall that is. Okay, so sometimes it helps to just draw things out. So I'll just show you that on the first one. So here's the sun, and we know that the sun is going to create a shadow, right? Like this. Uh-oh. Alarm. Okay. And this one is also creating a shadow. So we'll say it's like from here. That's where the shadow would start. And this one would start right about there. Okay, so we've got the height of these is like here. We'll call it H. And this one is the height. Let's see. Okay, so let's just fill in what we know. Let's use red. Cell phone tower, which is this one here. The shadow is 16 meters long. 16. Oh my. Sorry about that. Okay, so this is the cell phone tower. And let's see, not far away, the clock's tower's shadow is 32 meters long. 32. The cell phone tower is 30 meters tall. So we know that this is 30 meters high. How tall is the clock tower? This is the one that we don't know. But lucky for us, we can set up our ratios. Okay, so we can go, let's see. All right, I'm going to set up the first ratio from, based off of this clock, from the height to the shadow. So I could say the height of, and this information is all off of the clock. This one is the clock. So the height of the clock to the shadow of the clock is H over 32. Now the next one I'll set up is based off of the tower. Okay, so I did height here, so I got to do height here. So I did a ratio of height to the shadow. So this is the height information here, shadow information here. We just do our cross multiplying. So we have 16H equals 960. Then we divide by 16 on both sides. And that tells us that the height of the clock is 60 meters tall. Okay? Alrighty. How about pause the video? This is our last problem on here. See if you guys can figure this out. We're really just setting up a ratio of shadows to height. You don't really have to draw it out unless you want to, but okay, we'll see what you get. Alrighty. Let's look over this. I didn't need to draw anything out. I just had to go hunt for information. So everything in this column is set up on the antenna information. And then we have information on the tower. So each structure has information about their shadow and also about their height. So I just set up proportions. And again, the reason that we can do, I should have showed you on the other picture, but the reason that we can figure out those things based off the shadow and the height, you can find the different information, because pretty much when you have 90 degrees like this, you can then draw an imaginary line down there, and then you actually have triangles. You've got similar triangles. So that's the reason that we're able to figure out the height. We could figure out the length of the shadow. We could also figure out, how far it is from this point to this point, by using the triangles. Anyway, so that's what I did. And again, you could set up your ratios differently. You could have gone height to shadow. You could have gone, you could have done different things. But anyway, this is what you should have gotten. And that brings us to the end of this section on P5. And that's about all I have to say about that. Let me know if you have any questions. And you can text me, leave me a message. But this ends another wonderful geometry video on P5. This is great music. Have a good day. Miss Becky signing off here.